Are you still creating content that nobody wants? You can basically be creating everything technically right, but if it doesn't match the intent, you're missing the mark. Today I'm breaking down three versions of intent and how you can spot them and how you can fix your approach to your content. The search intent is actually very simple. It's basically the why behind what people search for. If you just look at one simple keyword, it can actually have three different meanings. So let's say somebody searches for iPhone 15. Either be that they're researching the product, or they want to buy, or they're looking for the closest Apple store. And all three of those have vastly different context to them. Google's algorithm is built around matching intent. And if you miss that mark, you're going to miss the searches and you're going to miss the right traffic to your website. Intent affects content strategy, conversions, bounce rate. It is just such a key part to your content. And it's one that people often overlook just for the sake of making content. If you're just going to make content, you're going to cater to absolutely nobody. So let's have a look at the three main versions of intent that you would come across on the internet. First one is informational, and it's where people really want to solve a problem. So they want to ask, what's the best way to, or how can I do X? And that is what you want to answer for them if you're creating informational content. The best content for this are often seen in blogs, in guides, in FAQs, on videos, explainer videos like this. That is exactly what you're trying to do. You're sharing information on how to do stuff. Key thing to remember when you are building informational content is you're not trying to sell stuff. You're basically trying to help people understand. You're building trust, and that is a very, very crucial part. The second one is straight to the point. That is the transactional intent. So that is where people are ready to buy, ready to download, ready to register. They are good to take that action that you want them to take. And the query patterns around that is actually very straightforward. If the word buy or download or register or book is actually in there, they are more than likely ready to actually take that next step. The best pages for these are often product pages or service pages, comparison pages, or review pages. There are a few simple key things that you need to just make sure that is on a page like this. Remove any barriers from people getting to the point where they make their purchase or they do their registration. You're going to clutter up your page, you're not helping anybody. Second one is to add trust signals. You've got reviews, or you've got warranties, or you've got something that actually highlights exactly why the product or service that you offer is of a high quality or exactly meets somebody's needs. Add that in there. And then the last one, which is very important, is making sure that your call to actions are very clear throughout the page. If you're going to add call to actions, this is where you're going to be doing it. Add it at regular intervals, make it as easy as possible for people to actually take that next step. Our navigational content is one that is sometimes misunderstood. It's not just somebody trying to physically get to your store. It will be where they know where they want to go, but they're not exactly sure how to get there. And with that, I mean when they do a search like brand name plus login, or brand name plus support, or brand name plus official site. Something like that would be where they want to get to a specific part of your page. Might even be that it will be brand name Black Friday promotion, because those are the things that are directly related to your brand, and they want to navigate to the right place as it pertains to your brand and what you offer. Best place to often send people for navigational intent would be a very targeted brand page or your homepage. It is going to be so important that you own your branded searches and that you own all of the variations of the searches around that. If you've got a competitor coming up for your searches, you are missing the mark. And that is not going to be an exceptional trust signal for somebody looking for your brand and looking for your products. Now, if you put a keyword into Google, you often want to find out what type of search intent is it. And there are a few very easy to spot indicators showing you exactly which is which. So you drop your keyword in the search, and what comes up is people also ask, and you've got featured snippets. More often than not, that is an informational intent search query. Shopping carousels and ads popping up, you're probably looking at something transactional because somebody is actually willing to pay to have that listing. They're more than likely getting new business from those. Site links and brand results, those come up, you're probably looking at navigational queries. Second way of actually identifying the intent might sound exceptionally obvious, but people still get lost when they are looking at the different keywords out there. So physically just go and look at the words that are associated with that search. You remember the ones that we mentioned earlier? Those are the ones that I'm referring to. So if you put in a search query and you see specific wording in there, so say, for example, there's an action item, there's a buy or price or cost or best, people are probably in the mood to start buying. So that is more than likely going to be a transactional query. If there's a learning phrase in there where it's the how to or guide or show me how to or where can I, those kind of things, probably referring to informational. When it comes to the brand name plus login, support, contact, anything like that, it's more than likely going to be a navigational query. The formats in which people then put their content together is often just a best guess, and that is not the way to approach it. So when you figured out the type of intent that you're going after, go and have a look at the format in which the top 10 results actually have created their content. So if you've got an informational query, go and have a look at what the top 10 has done. Are there more blog posts? Are there more how-to videos? Are there FAQ pages? Go and make sure that the content that you create lines up with the way that Google interprets that keyword and the type of content that they need for it. When you're looking at transactional content, have a look and see if there are shopping carousels. Have a look at see if there are product reviews, if there are product comparisons that you can have a look at, where people are seeing the specific types of results. This is what Google has tied to that query. So why should you go and create something that is completely different, trying to stand out and not be interpreted as being relevant for that query? I'm not saying copy everything that the others are doing. I'm just saying take what they've done and do it better. So let's just sum this up and make sure that you've got the right mix of content in your site. So when you're going informational, put in a little bit more effort in terms of the length that you are covering with the content. Make sure that there's how-to steps, there are bullet points in your content, that you have visuals. Infographics are wonderful. Embedding a video, all of that makes sense. Adding FAQs to round it all out will make sure that you've got the how-to or the guide or the whatever informational query you've got answered really thoroughly. On the transactional side, this is not the time to try and mess around and be overly clever. Get to the point, make it as easy as possible for somebody to actually take that next step. You want to just make sure that the person understands that they're on the right page where they want to be, and then you must make it as easy as possible for them to get the highlights related to your products or your service and very clear and easy to follow call to actions to take that next step. For the branded pages, it's not that complex. You just need to make sure that it honestly and clearly reflects your brand. You've got neat and tidy meta details in there, and that your headings are descriptive as it relates to your brand. Nothing overly flashy. Just make sure that you're thorough with that. And please, please, please just avoid these three common mistakes. First one that people hate seeing is when they've got an informational query, somebody has tried to force a product in there. That just completely puts off anybody looking for a solution. And the second one is when people try and write a 2,000 word page worth of copy for somebody ready to buy now. They're not looking to learn about the product. They're ready to buy. So make it easy for them to buy. And then the one that we just discussed, where people ignore the SERPs. They don't have a look at what comes up in those result pages, and then they create content in completely the wrong format as it relates to what their specific intent is for their search query. There it is. That's basically the full framework. It's actually so exceptionally simple, but these are things that you need to keep in mind whenever you are creating content. When you start matching your keywords to what people actually want, the whole content creation process becomes so much easier. Turns it into something where you can breeze through the content creation because you're creating it in the format that people want to see it if they want to take the next step and they want to take a specific action. I hope this helps, and I would like to ask that if you can please subscribe to our channel. We would love to share some more tips with you in the coming weeks and months.